So I just got this in today, and I'm really impressed that it showed up this fast, but I'm also very disappointed that I was never notified by email or FedEx this was actually coming in. So I've already removed the plastic wrap since it's kind of pointless showing you guys what cutting plastic. So I'm just going to open it up. Nothing's been moved yet, but so far the box is really good. Nice thick heavy duty cardboard. It actually arrived very well packed in bubble wrap. There was no damage. And as you can see from the back here, it has some really good photos. Alright. So this is really just going to be a first impressions because the app doesn't even exist yet. Well, they're working on it. So as of the 31st of May, the app is not online. But what was the company that did this? Renegade says that it should be soon. So I'm hoping within the next week or two, maybe sooner. And they did say there was going to be updates for it. The paper's really nice for a rule book. Usually you get that flimsy, cheapo paper. Okay, that's interesting about the board. So originally the main board I thought was going to be one giant board, but apparently it's 4 sections you put together and you just put the insert in for Village. So far everything else looks kind of normal. Order of play, start around, structure. I mean, the paper quality is really nice, and it's one of those nice little small details of an improvement that you don't expect, but when you do get it, it's a good deal. That's interesting. You got a little designer note about xenophobia, so I'm guessing that's going to be a plot. Hey, if there was a little turn sequence thing on the back, that'd be even better. But you know what? I'm happy with this. Alright, let's check out this Village Chronicle book. Oh, this is nice. Gold leaf print. Nothing really on the back. Spiral bound, of course, so you can open it up and lay it flat. And of course, we have the first scenario. And okay, so the top and bottoms. Alright, so each page is part of the story. I mean, I guess it would look the same. Buildings slowly progress and change to different eras, getting a little bit better each time. That is a nice detail. And then I guess you went from missionary style back to wood. Well, I guess that affects the building cube of the story, which I can't tell you because the app doesn't exist. And you can see the city is also falling apart too. So I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of branching storyline. Yeah. Typical wood buildings. Upgraded to more country type. Very European. And of course, we're going to go into stone architecture. Oh, that looks fairly late 50s. That's a depressing scenario right there. Everything's just scorched earth. And back to greenery. And industrialism and VR. Yeah. The pages, they're good. I don't know how durable they're going to be. The cardboard's pretty decent. The cardboard for the coverings is really thick. And again, it's really appreciated to have actually like good detail. Here are some tokens of some sort. I'm guessing this is the upgrade for your mansion. or base of operations or castle. So here we have, yeah, and then point tokens, whatever these yays are. I guess they're for voting. And then we have what looks like the boards. So I'm guessing these are the player boards, because they definitely look player boards. Nice and recessed. Okay, so it is this way. Good depth too. And it's nice that it actually leaves a fairly good amount that you can get in without wrecking anything. So everything was well thought out on that. Yeah, everything's fairly legible and easy to see, so that's nice. And the color coding, I guess, is... Alright, it's just... I don't know how clear that really is. So we got what looks like blue, yellow, orange, and I'm not exactly sure if these two are not the same board, except one's just lighter in color. But you can see really nice, thick boards. And then we got our main board. And that's really nice that it just drops in and fits. You don't have to actually force it in too badly. You're not going to rip up the sides or edges. So the board actually, you know, will maintain its shape better than some other games like Clank. So they did a real good job cutting this. I'm actually really impressed. Yeah, nothing wears and everything fits neatly in and it's cut well. So that's a huge plus. Most companies just punch stuff out, push it out, and kind of... Over time, if you play a game a lot, it gets ruined. Now, that's kind of annoying, but that's a printing thing. Nothing you can do about that. I doubt someone's just going to sit there non-stop QCing, throwing stuff out. Now, check this out. This insert, which is made by Game Trays, I believe. Those are some really nice detailed minis. I do like the fact that everything fits the box well, unlike some of the campaigns that do game trays and just throws everything. And that's really nice. Yeah, they were real adamant in the campaign about what a game tray system was going to be. And it's not too stiff. You can get in there. Just try it. Alright, so what do we got here? We have our color base markers, I believe. Purple. Okay, purple, black, red, white. We have all our tokens. You can see, so they are wood. See how good the printing is on them. That's pretty good. That's pretty good silk screen. They do seem to have a coating on them, so hopefully they'll last and hold up. And I was expecting they were just going to be stickers placed on. But so far, it looks like they are silk screened, and they do have a protective coating of some sort. I'm not exactly sure what these tokens are for, but they are also silk screened, so that's nice. And I'm guessing that is the insert for the tokens on the board. And we get turn sequence cards, very helpful. A lot of companies can learn from this. Now, that is a really nice looking miniature. A lot of detail there. Wasn't expecting this much detail. I'm guessing that's the lady of the house or the wife. Or maybe this is. She's probably more the lady of the house or wife. Is number on the bottom? No. So, I mean, the miniatures, plastic's really good. It's not flimsy. It's actually stiff plastic. I do like the coloring they've done. I'm not exactly sure if this is a style or an error with the plastic. It seems to be a continuous thing. So I'm guessing it's some type of wash, maybe. And, of course, the mad scientist. You can see Nice little touches. Alright, let's check out these components. It's not perfect, but it's better than a lot of them. Metal coins. I didn't remember that was in the campaign, but I'm happy they're there. Metal gears of random types, it looks like. Not sure if they're a currency marker or they're just a general token. And then silkscreen printed wood. Now, Direwolf said that these bottles were super durable. They did a bunch of drop tests, packaging tests, and I feel fairly confident that you could drop these at a reasonable height and they won't break. But I imagine if it falls on the floor on tile, it's probably going to shatter. You can probably buy these too if you need to replace them. Standard cubes. Man, these probably came from, what's that game? Why can't I remember what that game's called? It's that one with the cities. You had to build up ages. Anyways, just standard cube. Nothing special. These coins are really nice. They are thick. Let's see what we have here. So we have our 5 coin. Same on both sides. That's kind of disappointing, but still getting some metal coins is nice. Gotta love that sound. Granted, you could just play with real money, I guess, and not spend the extra money on metal coins. Same with the 1 cent, or I don't know how much money you're actually supposed to be making in this game, but I feel like this should be enough. I don't think this is a game that's based on hoarding gold like a dragon. And for all I know, I really know nothing of the game. It's just worker placement game that looked really interesting to me. And the initial reviews were really just apps, but they said the components are outstanding. It is really nice to have different component shapes and sizes. I don't think they matter, but it is really cool. It looks like we have 3 different varieties, so that's really cool. And everything fits really well. The lid, though, does not lock as well as I'd like it to. There's a lot of space, especially with this embossing, so components kind of slip through, but so most board games, you're not going to store it sideways. What else do we have down here? I'm hoping these will go here, and I'm guessing each one of these boxes will progress and fill those cards. Card trays at the bottom for more stuff. And, oh, that is a very nice feature right there, especially to be able to stick your finger to grab and lift instead of like sit there and bend on the corner. So that's really cool. It's a really well thought out insert. I usually don't give too much credit for game trays because they charge a small fortune for the little token boxes that you get 3 or 6 in a box for like $17, which is ridiculous. All right, these are your projects, I'm guessing. B, C, and I think there's enough space that I can sleeve all these and keep them in here and not worry about it. So that's really nice. This is a very, very well thought out tray. It's labeled A, B, and C. All right. So not too sure about the bottom tray, but once I get all the components punched out and placed where they're going to be, I'll be able to figure out how well this insert really is. Because one of the things I have a huge issue is poor inserts. I tend to take all my games and repackage them. I have a ton of Plano boxes. I use them most of the time just because no one really makes a good, reasonably priced insert. There are some generic inserts that I will pick up every once in a while. Like, I love Broken Token, but they are expensive, and I don't really feel like putting stuff together all the time. Oh, that's nice. All the components are already punched out. So that's really, really cool. I don't have to sit here and punch out a bunch of cardboard. That is very, very nice of them. Alright, and we get our cards. Don't know if I can sleeve all these and put them back in this packaging, but there's more than enough space in the box. There's also a little straggler here. The mayor coin. Are you metal also? Yeah. Feels metal. I don't know. Let me tap it real quick. Yeah, it's a metal coin. So that's nice. So yeah, that's really cool. Everything's prepackaged already, punched out, ready to go. Just need to sleeve cards if you're like me and you like to sleeve cards. Because I don't know, it's just a pet OCD thing, I guess. But the detail's really nice. So far, I don't really feel like opening the rest of the boxes, but I probably should just because you guys want to see. So I believe this is the first scenario, the cost of the disease, and the second one, the fear of the unknown. And again, a component listing. A little dubious on the timing. They said the timing was fairly accurate, but every time a game gives me a time, it's never accurate. Okay, so this is packaged the same. Components, all list components in the back. I might get crazy and try to find a little plano boxes for each of these individual token pieces. I might not, because it doesn't look like there's too much stuff, but you never know. So, we'll see how bad my OCD gets. These are bricks. These boxes actually feel pretty sturdy too. They do have the unfortunate of getting warped over time, but there's not much you can do, especially with this dry climate. Time of war. Oh. Well, I guess you wouldn't get a lot of upgrades, would you, in a time of war? And there is a giant, no little bag for these cards. There are World Conquest. Okay. Some James Bondy gadgets right there. And no other little components. So I'm guessing the time of war is going to be World War I or World War II-ish, depending on what time frame the story takes place. Alright, so what do we have left on the insert here? We have this bottom tray. And no weird special nonsense. So, I'm guessing... reverse this and put it back together. Okay. Well, that kind of bugs me. So, if this tray is a card stand, it's not going to work really well. That sits on top. As so. And these four boards, I don't think it's going to matter, but there's a cutout for that right there. I don't think that's going to matter too much. Seems like there's a system to this design. Just because of this cutout right there. And the only way that would work is if I did that. And that would would mean that these would have to be the same way also, but not really. So that's what it looks like outside of the box, fully stacked up, and so far it seems like a really well thought out design. I gotta give a lot of credit here. So maybe it changes my mind and tells me that game trays are definitely worth it, even though that little package of boxes that they make, that they sell, don't really fit in game boxes very well. So they took a lot of time on the effort on making the product, and so far my initial response is it's really impressive. It seems like it high quality components, cardboard's really good, everything's printed well, the miniatures are great. I don't have any real concerns except, small nitpicks, such as, if this is supposed to be a card tray for holding your little mini Euro or American card sideways, that just annoys me, and that's on me. But I think there's enough space in the projects from A, B, and C that you should be able to sleeve them, but I will get to that when I sleeve it, and I will show you later what it looks like fully sleeved. I'm going to have to figure out what these are for. I feel like these are for tokens, and I am not sure if that is a token or resource tray. That's just kind of an odd design. But anyways, that's what it's going to be right now. I'm going to sleeve everything up, and we'll see how everything fits back in the box. Alright, welcome back everyone. So after flying around a little bit and punching out everything and sleeving cards, it didn't come with how a setup manual was, so I just separated everything by what made sense. So we have our 4 colored trays, and each one of them is going to get a vote token. Apparently these are tied to a color. These are going to be the markers on your progression board. And we got our card. So that's cool. But this is the interesting part. So we have our reference cards, and then certain tokens. I'm just kind of curious why these are colored, why they wouldn't just be thrown in with the rest of the player colors, just for consistency. And I kind of feel like I'm missing a token here just because of that extra space, but I gotta go check the components to verify. Other than that, everything fits really nicely. This is the only one that's kind of hard to get out just because it's so deep, but everything else just kind of pops out. So that's really nice. And again, that Game Trays has figured that we don't like cramming our cards and wrecking stuff. So the cost of the disease fits there, but I got to show you how that worked out. So again, nothing changed here. Everything's the same, and it fits perfectly. So this is a little interesting side note. There kind of is enough space for a deck of each to be sleeved. This one seems to stick out a little bit more, but it's not too bad. You can see they kind of shake around and move in there. But, it's a better attempt than most. And then this bottom tray, the only thing that made sense was to do it this way. It's a little bit, maybe over time compressing, it'll stay down, but they're kind of hard to get out with these sleeves. Now granted, these are the Gamegenic gray sleeves. They're a little bit longer than Fantasy Flight sleeves, I believe. So that might just be an issue with sleeves, and honestly, you're never going to find sleeves that are perfectly cut. Since they came to this conclusion with this deck of condition cards, they knew that if you sleeved it, it wasn't all going to fit in one spot. So that's a nice little feature. But I am kind of disappointed that they didn't extend it a little bit more lengthwise just for sleeving. Like, they had the idea down, they just, small oversight. Nothing breaking, it's just my nitpickiness. This I figured out, which is really nice. So this is, your upgrades for your estate. So that's really nice. Kind of had to figure out that this was going to be for 1 and 3s, or 1 and 2 levels, and this was 3. I believe these are the special rooms, and then I believe these are your starting. They start with an S in the back, so, but it only has enough to fit these 4. So it's kind of nice that you can just flip through these tiles like a flip book. I haven't separated them to see if they're like groups. There probably are. Like I said, I don't really know much about this game. I just bought it because it's a Euro. So my pet peeve that I was kind of worried about with the tuck boxes. I've sleeved everything and kept it in order. Not sure if it really affects the story because I don't have the app. But this pack of, well, the cards came in this cheap plastic flimsy pack. And I was hoping I was able to fit this in here. Not going to happen. So the box, it's fine. It does fit sideways. My only gripe is that the cards are loose now. There's no real spot for them. And that just bugs me. I know. It's a nitpick of mine. I'm being really picky over small things, but it's just how I am. I think they could have made the boxes thinner, or at least came with a little cardboard box, but I'll figure something out. I'll find some deck boxes or something that will fit a stack of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I don't know why I counted. I could just look at this. No, okay, so 29 cards. So, slight pickiness on my part, as usual, because it's one of those things I just like all my components organized. It's just a habit of mine. This I don't think is going to be too big of a deal because I'm pretty sure this is all for the scenario and you're going to play with, well, you're going to use these. So that shouldn't be too bad. And of course the mirror token, I just kept it in here just to separate it. But getting everything to fit in the box perfectly is really just my gripe. You have to figure out how to do this, and more than likely I am going to probably look for a cardboard booster box to fit it. But I mean, everything fits. So again, it's just me being nitpicky. And I guess it's kind of nice if you're doing a really fast cleanup. You don't want to sit there and organize every token. So these being the core things that are going to be applied to every scenario, I believe that's why the setup was for that. But all in all, minor, just me being super critical over small stuff. I still think that the packaging is very well done, very well thought out. I think the quality of components is great. I really love these components. So, I mean, they're just little trinkets, but they do add a nice feel to the game board and the fact that, you know, you can play with them. So when someone's taking forever on their turn and they're driving you nuts, well, you can just return the flavor by, you know, clanging coins, because that's a habit I like to do to say I'm bored. So I think it is worth the money. I think it's very well done. I have to see how the gameplay goes, and I got to run through at least one scenario twice just to actually get a good opinion. And I'm going to do a blind test with a pickup group and see how they feel about it. But in the meantime, I got to wait till the app shows up because I really have nothing else to go on. I can tell you about the components, but I can't tell you if it's a fun game. And honestly, when I looked at the gameplay video, I was kind of having my doubts, but I stuck with the Kickstarter feed and was hearing good things about it, so I'm hoping that this pays off and it is a Euro that I'm going to enjoy, and I enjoy most Euros, so Euro/worker placement. It's one of those weird genres that I seem to gravitate towards, even though I don't seem like a Euro player or a worker placement player. Let's see. I still haven't figured out what these trays are, but these trays are probably for the components just to be thrown there. But I just see that as a pain getting this out of the box every time. So, inserts kind of, it fits, it's easy to remove. I just don't know if I really want to pull out the whole tray and just leave everything in the box. But so far, overall, super impressed. And I think Game Trays and Renegade did an incredible job on this. The Dune Imperium upgrade by Direwolf is really good. I don't know if that was designed by Game Tray, but that was also designed with an expansion in mind, and it's built and with the new expansion for everything fits perfect. So I'm pretty sure that this game will not have any expansions unless they try to do another box, and hopefully if they do, they'll make an insert just as good, because this by far is one of the best inserts I've seen. I mean, small nitpicky, I wish all the components could fit, but it doesn't matter. That thing doesn't bother me as much as the sleeving cards. And I get it. Not everyone sleeves cards. But, you know, I kind of like keeping my stuff in nice shape. Alright, well, that'll be it. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time.